Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive into the stories and mysteries behind everyday things. Today's question comes from one of our curious viewers, Midnight Munchies. Thanks for the suggestion, Munchies. You asked, why does our stomach growl when we're hungry? We've all been there, sitting in a quiet classroom, a meeting, or a packed movie theater, when suddenly, growl! Your stomach decides to make an announcement. But why does it do that? Is it just being dramatic, or is there actual science behind those embarrassing rumbles? Today we're digging into the weird world of borborygmi. Yes, that's a real word. Finding out what's actually happening inside your gut. And, most importantly, how you can stop your stomach from exposing you at the worst possible moments. Stick around as we break it all down, right here on Explaining Everything. First things first, that noise has a fancy name. Borborygmi. Yes, that's a real word, and yes, it sounds just as weird as the sound itself. It comes from Greek, and it literally means rumbling. So next time your stomach makes noise, just tell people, oh, don't mind me, it's just some borborygmi. You'll sound smart, and maybe a little pretentious. But what's actually happening? Well, your stomach and intestines are basically long, muscular tubes. And those tubes are constantly moving food, liquid, and air through a process called peristalsis. It's like a slow, rhythmic wave pushing things along, kind of like a conveyor belt, but way grosser. When your stomach is empty, there's not much food to muffle the noise, so the sound of those muscle contractions is much louder. And since your gut is full of air pockets, those contractions push the air around, creating the rumbling sounds we know and dread. You might think your stomach only growls when it's completely empty, but that's not exactly true. Your digestive system is actually on a schedule. Every few hours, your brain sends signals to your gut to start moving things along, even if you're not eating. This is partly to clear out leftover food, but it also serves another purpose, to make you want to eat. See, your stomach and intestines release hormones that trigger those muscle contractions. These same hormones also tell your brain, hey, we're running on empty. Please send snacks. The growling is like your stomach's passive-aggressive way of saying, would it kill you to have a sandwich? And here's the kicker. Your gut does this even when you're not hungry. It's just that when your stomach is full, the sound is muffled. When it's empty, it echoes like an empty concert hall. Let's talk about timing. Why does your stomach always decide to start growling at the absolute worst moments? Like, why can it be silent all day, but the second you walk into a silent room, it turns into a rock concert? Well, that's partly psychological. When you're focused on something else, talking, moving, or just being generally distracted, you don't notice the noises as much. But when you're sitting still in a quiet place, suddenly your brain goes, oh wow, that's loud. Also, sound waves travel better in quiet environments. So if you're in a silent classroom or an awkward first date, your stomach sounds way louder than it actually is. Basically, your stomach loves embarrassing you. It's an attention seeker. Okay, let's say you have a big presentation coming up, or you're about to sit through an important meeting. and you really don't want your stomach to start making whale noises. Can you stop it? Yes, sort of. Here are some tips. First, eat small, frequent meals. If you keep your stomach from being completely empty, you can muffle the noise. Think of it like soundproofing your gut. Second, drink water. Water helps fill up your stomach and reduces the movement of air bubbles. But don't chug. Too much air in your stomach can actually make it worse. Third, avoid gassy foods, beans, carbonated drinks, and anything that makes you burp a lot can lead to extra air in your gut. And extra air equals extra noise. Fourth, chew slowly. The more air you swallow, the more your stomach has to deal with. If you eat too fast, you're basically fueling the growl machine. Fifth, move around. Light movement, like walking, can help settle your digestive system and keep things from getting too noisy. Of course, if you're super hungry, the best solution is just eat. Your stomach isn't being dramatic for no reason. Fun fact, humans aren't the only ones who deal with this. Animals experience borborygmi too. If you've ever heard your dog's stomach making weird noises, it's the same process. Some animals even use gut sounds as a form of communication. So in a way, your stomach is just trying to talk to you. Imagine if we evolved to understand stomach growl language. You'd hear a growl and be like, "Ah yes, my gut is requesting a cheeseburger." Maybe in the future, scientists will invent a stomach translation app. Until then, we'll just have to keep guessing. So, to wrap things up, your stomach growls because of muscle contractions, moving food and air through your digestive system. It gets louder when your stomach is empty because there's nothing to muffle the noise. And yes, your stomach is 100% trying to guilt trip you into eating. Next time it happens, don't be embarrassed. Just remember, it's totally normal. And if anyone gives you weird looks, just say, "Oh, that's just my borborygmi acting up." Trust me, they'll be too confused to judge you. If you liked this video, hit that like button and subscribe. And if your stomach is still growling, maybe try eating something. Promise we won't judge. And hey, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.